Hey, good morning. Welcome back to my channel, Rick Loves Maria. So, I'm back at Seymour Monday morning. Again, waiting for the Monday load to Wisconsin. Got down here last night and got the trailer dumped and got parked. Got parked by 11 o'clock. I was amazed when I turned on my TV that I got here in the truck. I was amazed that the Super Bowl was still going on. So I got to see the end. I think it may have been the last play. I don't know. Anyway, so Kansas City won. So that was interesting. I didn't think I'd get to see any of it. So, because I was driving the whole time it was on. And part of that's planned so that maybe I'm driving while there's less traffic on the road. Maybe more people are on their couch watching the TV and not out driving. So that helped me roll through Cincinnati and Columbus and get my butt down here. So anyway, that's one thing I try to do, is drive when most other people are not driving. I find that helps. I suck on these while I'm driving. These are lifesavers. Old-fashioned mints. Wintergreen mints. I don't know if it helps my breath any. It's probably got a little sugar in it. It's probably not real healthy for me, but it helps keep me awake, keep me alert. I don't know. It just helps keep me going while I drive. So I keep some of those in the bag, and of course, since it's morning, I got my coffee, and gonna open my coffee and start drinking on that. I find the caffeine helps wake me up. In fact, for caffeine, sometimes if I start to get tired while I'm driving, I will keep some of these little bottles of caffeine with me. Trying to see how many milligrams of caffeine this one's got. I think it's 156. And that's pretty much all it is caffeine. And these little things. Some of them don't taste too good. But if it helps you not fall asleep behind the wheel, maybe that's okay. I don't know. I mean, I do get tired sometimes behind the wheel. I catch myself yawning. I crank up the music and sing along, sometimes as loud as I can. And I open the windows and let some cold air in, and pretty much try to do whatever I can to keep awake, stay alert. Got my paperwork here. It's all scanned in, ready to turn that back in at the office. So when I go in there and pick up my next load, I can just pop that paperwork in the slot where it needs to go. And I'm sure they just file it. I don't know what if they actually look at it. If anybody actually looks at it, I'd be surprised. I picked up a roll of reflective tape this week, and I like to keep some of this in the truck because everywhere I go, if there's any obstacles, I like to put some of this on the obstacles so that you can see them, because I don't want to hit nothing. So anyway, that's the deal. with the reflective tape. It's expensive, but man, it's good to put on stuff so that you can see it, especially at night in the dark. There's some docks that we back into behind these stores, and my God, in the dark, you can't see nothing back there. You're 70 feet away from these docks, and you can't see anything trying to back into them. So I go back there with that tape and I put that on the poles, and especially where I'm supposed to put that trailer. And I find that, man, that really helps out a lot. I have gone back there, walked back there, and hung one of these. Just hang that on there. If you don't have any electrical tape, hang that on there. Keep a couple of them, extra ones in the truck with you, and hang those on those poles or whatever fence or anything you can find that where you got to back into that dock. And if you have to, from up here, shine your flashlight back there out the window, and that'll help you locate what you're trying to back into. Because, man, I tell you, I've been there, done that. So, had a pretty good weekend. Had some fun with the girls. I don't want to give too much information, but we had to replace a broken phone for Zoe. And yeah, I understand, it happens, you know. Things happen. Hey, she had that Samsung phone for 2 years, and for a teenager, that seems like a lifetime, you know. So we're lucky that it lasted that long, right? So anyway, you know, a few months back, I was told that, you know, Zoe wants an iPhone. Well, I hear they're expensive. You know, they're expensive. And I think Maria wanted an iPad. Well, anyway, the phone was just falling apart. The actual screen was just falling out of the case. And I was just joking around, you know. I said, well, I can glue that back together, you know, put some silicone on it, let it dry, and you can keep on going. And so I was just kind of joking about that. So anyway, we had to go back to Verizon, and they had a deal. Since we had 3 lines, the 4th one's free anyway. And so the phone was free. You know, you're just paying for some service and for some setup fees and stuff like that. There's some one-time fees involved. You got to get a case for it, a protective glass, whatever. So anyway, we got her an iPhone. So she's happy now, you know, and that's good. You know, happy Valentine's Day, right? And then Maria, she wanted an iPad. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, I was the IT guy. For 30 years, I was an IT guy. And I've seen iPads. I've used them a little bit, but didn't really find them to be that particularly handy for my IT work, because in order to do what I had to do, you had to have applications like Word, Excel, Outlook, the whole Office, you know, Microsoft Suite and everything. You can't run that on that stuff. So we use them for more light tasks for the clinicians to do progress notes and stuff like that. So I never really used one. Now, I had an iPhone when I was an IT guy, but that was just a company phone, and I didn't find it very useful. I found it much easier to just whip out my Samsung, my Android, and use that. So I never had a much use for the Apple products. My honest opinion of them is that they're overpriced for what you get, but that's just me. You know, I'm sure if you grow up using one and you get used to it, that's the thing for you, right? So anyway, so we got that taken care of for her, and she's happy. So that's good. It's blue sky. Temperature is out of the way, paper. 31. So winter's still here. Winter ain't over yet. I know we're still gonna get some more snow. I'm just hoping I can make it a few more weeks without a whole lot of snow and ice, you know. They're talking about possibly some snow tonight, but I don't know. I'll have to research the weather where I'm going in Wisconsin. One of the things that I wanted to accomplish in my life was when I started work, I wanted to be able to keep my salary, my annual thousands of dollars that I made. I wanted to be able to keep that number higher than my age. So when I graduated from college and I got my first job, or my first, I guess, real job, I was an IT auditor for the state of North Carolina, or insurance auditor for the state of North Carolina. And I travel around and audit insurance companies, but it was a base level job, and I was new, and I was only making like $25,000 a year. Well, at that time, my age was 22. So I wanted a goal. The goal that I had was to keep my salary higher than my age. As I got older, I wanted my salary to continue to rise faster or higher, at least higher than my age. And one thing I found out in IT was that my salary maxed out. Okay. My salary in IT maxed out at about $62,000 a year. Yeah, there's more specialized things you can get into, where you can make more money than that. What I was doing was a lot of Excel spreadsheets and taking the data, writing SQL query, extracting that into Excel, and making graphs and trends with the data. And the report writer could make graphs and stuff too that I was using the SQL program, but Excel was a pretty good way to keep the history and so anyway, we would keep a lot of it in Excel. I did a lot of Excel. In retrospect, I think a lot of the spreadsheet work that I did was more of an accounting function than really an IT function. IT work should have been more, I think, like the quality of the data and preventing the wrong data from being stored in the database. And but you know, a lot of these mental health places, they just don't have the budget, and they were constantly cutting the budget. And the IT department is usually led by an accountant. And so it's just not what what other agencies that are not in healthcare, it's just not what they think of IT. It's different than IT in other places. So anyway, yeah, I wrote a bunch of policies and procedures, and wrote down the way things should work, and that sort of stuff. Created all that, and back in the early days, I actually ran the cabling, crimped the ends on, and set up the workstations, put the little network cards in the workstations, and back then we had little switches, where you had the jumpers, where we had to set the settings. I mean, I did 30 years in that stuff. I came along right after the punch cards. So anyway, I connected the mainframe to the Ethernet when all we had back then was a token ring, and I connected the fiber optic cable from the main office to the other facility, a quarter mile away, using the fiber optic transceivers and the fiber optic cable. So I had so much experience in all that, but I could still only max out at about 62,000. Now, and when I had to go to work, I had to dress up. I didn't have to wear a tie, but you had to dress kind of office, kind of formal. Today, I'm wearing a tie-dye shirt and basically like pajamas. And so I could go to work. This is my mobile office that I'm sitting in. I can wear blue jeans. I'll throw probably just a yellow t-shirt on, something that's high visibility, and I'll go to work. We got our W-2s, and last year I made more than 70,000 last year. Now, I'm not bragging on that. That's not great. But it's better than IT. It's better than I ever did in IT. So, I'm hoping I'm just finishing up the last 4 years before I can retire. And it's nice that what I'm doing, I can still keep that salary higher than my age, which has been my goal all along. So that I just wanted to share that with you, that's been kind of a goal, and it's worked out. Luckily, I've been lucky. Now, do I wish that was $100,000 a year? Heck yeah, I wish it was. I don't know that that's ever going to happen. And that's okay. That's okay. If I can make it for the next 4.5 years and be safe out here and not have any bad accidents, I can retire and be happy. And at the end of that 4.5 years, I'll hand them back the keys and say, thank you, it's been fun. And then head to the Philippines. So, yep, that's the plan, man. I watch these other vloggers in the Philippines, and some of them are having fun over there, and some of them are having to monetize their YouTube channel in order to try to make some extra money. Well, I'm probably not ever gonna get monetized. My channel is just too damn boring to get monetized. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to make any money doing this. I'm just not that good at editing, and I don't really, I think, have a whole lot to say. But that's it. I'm just not that exciting. Our lives are not that exciting. So anyway, y'all have a good week. Stay safe. I'll just be driving, and y'all take care, and thanks for watching. See ya.